Welcome to this no props beginner yoga practice. My name is Eckstrom, co-founder of Inner Dimension Yoga, and we're gonna get right into it today. So join me on the floor. Laying on your back, bend your knees, open your feet wider than your hips, and then just drop your arms down by your sides and take 5 deep breaths. And just emphasizing your breath in your body and the places in your body where you feel your breath the most. And then seeing if you can let that go and start to draw your breath in and out through your nose. Sliding the breath along the back of the throat and allowing your body to breathe in the way that it knows how. Let the knees float into the chest, hug the knees, give the knees a squeeze. And then rock a little forward and back until you come all the way up. Sweep the feet to one side and then come to hands and knees. In tabletop pose, you're stacking the joints. So the shoulder is above the wrist and the knee is above the hip. And this just allows energy to move freely and efficiently, but also safely. And starting to mobilize the spine, on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, and then keep the gaze forward, never throwing the head back. As you exhale, tuck your tail, press the floor away, hang your head, and round your spine. And back and forth in this way, inhaling to lift your sitting bones to the sky and to draw your heart through the gateway of your chest. Exhaling to lift the sides of your waist, spreading your vertebrae wide as you lift your navel to your back. And then on your own, a few more times here, the inhale takes you to the back bend. The exhale takes you into the rounding shape. And this movement back and forth mobilizes not just the spine, but also the shoulders and the hips, that they're all involved here as you continue to follow your breath. And on your next inhale, come back through a flat back in tabletop pose so you find yourself in the middle ground between those two previous shapes. Little press of the floor away, little lift of the navel. Step your right toes to the back of the mat. You could keep your toes on the floor or start to lift your right leg up and off the earth. You could stay here or reach your left arm forward, bicep nearby your ear. Now, I want to normalize. If you are newer to yoga, you might come in and out of this a little bit. You might find that your balance is a little bit shaky, and that's okay. Yoga doesn't need you to be any different than you are. And so you just reach those two limbs away from each other, going for length rather than height. Take one more inhale. And then whatever is lifted, place it back down onto the mat in tabletop pose. And we'll just try that on the second side. Left toe step to the back of the mat. Maybe the left leg lifts the height of the left hip. Right arm reaches forward. You could even keep the fingertips on the floor and then practice lifting the right arm to the height of the ear. Your hands extending out in a handshake position, and then you're just drawing the arm away from the leg, reaching the limbs out. And it's okay to rest if you need to rest. Take an inhale. And then back to tabletop pose as you exhale, and you'll cycle through that a few times. On an inhale, right leg lifts, left arm lifts. Exhale, lower it all back down into tabletop pose. Inhale, left leg lifts and right arm lifts. And exhale back to tabletop pose. 2 more times on your own. You're just testing it out. Again, it's okay to move slow. And you focus more on how a pose feels than how it looks. How does it feel for you today? And that you're maybe learning something new. Everything comes down onto the earth, pause in tabletop, and then walk the hands a little bit forward, bring the big toes together, open the knees out wide, and press your hips back to your heels. Now, I know for myself that the floor can feel a little bit far away, so I like to stack my hands and make a pillow that my forehead can rest on. You can do that even with your fists if the floor feels like it's pretty far away. And that there's a prop that you can make for yourself just with your own body, which is really nice. And over time, maybe there's some enhanced mobility in the body, and maybe the forehead wants to rest down on the floor. And this is child's pose. This is often the place that if we need to rest during our practice, we can come back to. So just know that you can come back to this pose as often and as many times as you need, whether it's in a class with me or any other teacher. This pose is always available to you. In your own time, as you're ready, on an inhale, rise back up to tabletop pose, and then tuck your toes under, lift your knees up and off the floor, and press your thighs back. So you're coming into an inverted triangular shape called downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, we want the spine long and the arms straight. But for most of us, we're pretty tight in the hamstrings, so we need to bend the knees in order to get that length through the spine. In downward facing dog, you traditionally see people always having their legs totally straight. You don't have to have your legs totally straight. So if it feels better for you to have that little bend in your knees so that you can lift your butt up to the sky, go ahead and keep your knees bent. But if you want to over time, you can press the legs towards straight. And so very personal, take an inhale. And as you exhale, start to walk your hands back to your feet. And what you probably notice is that downward facing dog is not a resting pose. Grasp opposite elbows, put that bend back in the knees again, and just sway a little bit side to side. Rock a little bit left and right. And so it's often a misconception in the yoga practice. People will think that downward facing dog is the place where you rest. But as you can tell, it takes a lot of arm strength, a lot of mobility in the body to sustain downward facing dog. So if you need to rest, child's pose is always there. Release your hands down to the earth. Slip your hands up to your shins, pull your chest forward, lengthen your spine, find a flat back so you gaze slightly down. You take all of the rounding out of your back. And then exhale and forward fold. This time, scoop your heart forward on an inhale, circle your arms all the way up to the sky, reach the arms up, palms touch overhead. And as you exhale, draw your hands down towards your heart. And so we're just gonna add on a little bit here, linking breath to movement, starting to create a meditation in motion. Inhale, circle your arms up, let your breath lead. Then forward fold as you exhale, dive all the way down over your version of straight legs. Lift your hands up to your shins so that you can pull the rounding out of your spine, find a flat back. Then exhale, let your arms go, let your head go, and fold back over your legs. A few more times, rise to stand. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, draw the hands down toward the heart. And just remember, if you're breathing, you're practicing. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, fingertips to the earth and fold in. Last time, inhale, circle the arms to the sky, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms above. Exhale, fold all the way out and down. Hands to shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, let the rounding back in. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky, reach to stand. And exhale, draw your hands to your heart, and beautiful. Those are our half versions of our sun salutations, really the foundation of so much of the practice. Keep what you have and then walk your way up to the top of your mat. And as you come to the top of your mat, same thing, inhale, circle the arms to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way out and down. Inhale, pull the chest out to that flat back you just practiced. Then exhale as you fold, bend your knees, step your left foot to the back of your mat. You drop your left knee down behind your left hip. And then just keep your fingers on the floor. And this is enough. As you let the hips come slightly forward, you're opening the hip flexors in the groins. And so you're just allowing the hips to come forward a little bit. You're lifting the heart, you're lifting the chest. And it doesn't need to be more than this to be effective, which is a really important reminder in our practice. It can be incredibly misleading with what we see today displayed as yoga, thinking that it needs to be more than simple, when really simple can be so deeply effective. Keep what you have. With your left toes tucked, lift your left knee. Spin your back left foot flat. You're gonna line your front heel up with your back arch and then cartwheel your arms open into what we call warrior two. So right arm forward, left arm behind you. Most important here is that you take care of your knee. So aim your right knee over your second and third toes. Resist that knee from collapsing in so that that inner knee stays so safe. Then give that leg a break. On an inhale, straighten the right leg, reach the arms to the sky. And then exhale, spread the arms back out as you rebend the right knee, coming into warrior two, and maybe you notice that you can go a little bit deeper this time. 2 more times. Inhale, right leg straight and arms rise. Exhale, rebend and spread the arms wide. Last time, inhale, right leg straight. Exhale, rebend and spread. Knowing that if you're breathing calmly and consistently, it's more important than quote unquote doing it right. There's no doing it right. Keep the right knee bent, reverse your warrior, so your right arm lifts up and over your head. You lean back and it's a side stretch. So as if you could aim your right ribs up toward the sky, lean back, take a full breath. Then exhale, circle your hands down onto the earth, spin onto your back toes, back to that high lunge where you were, and step forward again to the top of the mat. Hands back to the shins. So each time we forward fold, we take the rounding back out, we come into a flat back to counter pose the forward fold, then exhale and fold your way back in. On an inhale, rise all the way up to stand, sweep the arms up, and exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Shift your weight into your left foot, and then come into tree pose. 3 ways to do this. The toes of your right foot could stay on the floor in the arch of your left foot. So your foot doesn't ever need to leave the floor. That is tree pose. You could also bring the right foot to the inner left calf, or you can reach down and lift the foot and bring it to the inner left thigh. Now, the important thing here is that the foot should never be against the knee. Bring maybe the hands to the heart. And if you're at home and balance is new for you, or you're at an age where balance feels really tricky, you can come to the wall. And you can always do tree pose standing at the wall, placing the hand of the standing leg side on that wall for support. And then again, you just remember that as you maybe come in and out of tree pose, if you're practicing balance, you're falling out of it, you're coming back in, that you're focusing more on how it feels than how it looks. Take a breath, and then exhale, lower the right foot down, drop your arms by your sides, and just for a second, notice how you feel. Balancing poses often bring into us a feeling of stability and how sweet that is. Circle the arms up, inhale. Fold all the way down, exhale. We're just gonna come through this on the second side. Flat back on an in-breath. Exhale, fold, and this time step the right toes back, drop the right knee down behind the right hip, and keep the fingertips on the floor. See if you can lengthen the spine. No agenda. Nothing better to get to. nothing better to be. Everybody can do yoga because yoga meets you where you are, not the other way around. Let this be enough today. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee, spin the sole of the right foot flat, and then cartwheel open into warrior two. Same thing you did on the first side, now you're just trying it on the left. Look down, doesn't matter how long we've been practicing, we've always got to look to see where we land to keep the body straight. Left toes are pointing forward, left knee is tracking over the center of the foot, so the inner knee is safe, which means I've got to use the inner thigh a little bit to open that knee to the left. Then on an inhale, left leg straight, hands to the heart. Take that moment inside of yourself, it's a little break. Exhale, rebend the left knee and spread the arms out, and let's pulse it 2 more times. Left leg straight, hands to the heart. Take care of yourself. Rebend and spread as you strengthen. Last time, left leg straight, hands to the heart. Rebend and spread. Keep the front left knee bent this time. Lift the left arm up and reach the left arm back. Nothing changes in the lower body. It's just a side stretch. Take an inhale, reach back. Then exhale, circle the hands down onto the floor, spin onto the back toes, and one final time, step up to the top of the mat. Hands to shins, inhale. Forward fold as you exhale. Rise to the sky as you sweep to stand. Big breath in. Hands to the heart. And then same thing here. Shift the weight into your right foot. Maybe the left toes come to the arch of the right foot. Maybe they lift to the calf. Or maybe you reach down and you draw that foot high into the inner thigh as long as it's above the knee. Hands come to the heart. Maybe you stand at a wall today. And falling out of a pose is part of a yoga practice. The same way that when you learned how to walk, you fell down over and over and over again. In many of the traditions, it's said that mistakes are the pathway to success. And if we can make those falling moments playful moments, then it really is the best way to learn. Lower the left foot down, drop the arms down, take a breath, notice how you feel after your practice. Circle the arms to the sky on an inhale. Fold all the way out and down as you exhale. Chest out one last time, you find a flat back. And then exhale, step back to downward facing dog. So that place where you were earlier. Pause in downward facing dog and just notice if it feels a little bit different after you've been moving your body in these dynamic ways. One last inhale. Knees down as you exhale, crawl the knees forward, sweep the feet to the side, and then recline all the way onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest. Spread your arms out away from your body and drop both knees over to the right. Take a really easy twist. And see if your left shoulder can work its way down to the earth, not forcing anything to happen. Knees falling over to the right. Inhale the knees back to center. And exhale the knees up and over to the left. Easy twist. Inhale the knees to the center, curl your forehead up, squeeze your toes, squeeze your fingers, squeeze everything in. And then exhale, extend the legs forward, drop the arms by the sides, palms to the sky, and into your final rest. In yoga, what we call Shavasana. And so you let go of all effort in the body. You let go of all effort behind the breath. And this is the time of integration and the time where the yogis say that the practice actually begins. And so Shavasana, as you surrender everything and lay yourself down for a full and final rest. Rebend your knees, place your feet to the floor. Roll to one side, cradle your head. And in your own time, press down into your hands and rise all the way up to sit. Thank you so much for sharing this beginner's no props yoga practice with me. I hope you can see that the way we move through a yoga practice is an invitation for how we might move through our lives, which is one of the reasons why it's said that yoga can be anything that you do. It can be the way that you drive your car. It can be the way that you greet somebody. It could be the way that you move through a grocery store. So bring the consistency of your breath, the consistency of your focus off the mat and into your life, and know that it'll serve you. Take a final deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale, let it go. And at the end, we say namaste, which simply means the light in me bows and honors the light within you. Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this practice, please visit me over at Inner Dimension Yoga. You can follow the link below, and when you join, you get access to my full library of classes, series, and programs, including a full beginner's yoga program, and your first 10 days are free. Be sure to click subscribe so we can continue providing these practices for free around the world, and I look forward to practicing with you next time.